Isomers 异构体。First type isomers is constitutional isomers. The molecules having the same molecular formula but having a different structure formula, with atoms bonding differently. They are formed by attaching branch chains and functional groups and forming multiple bonds at different locations of the parent chain. 同分异构体分子式相同，但结构式不同。原子间和不同的分子，它们是通过连接自链和管动团，并在母链的不同位置形成多个键而形成的。This is the butene, three isomers here. The first one is called one butene. The double bond is between C1 and C2. This one is two butene. The double bond is between C2 and C3, and this one is 2-methylpropane. The parent chain has 3 carbons with the double bond between C1 and C2. At C2, it has a methyl group. The second type of isomer is called cis-trans isomer, 顺反异构体. Single carbon-carbon bond rotates, but a double carbon-carbon bond doesn't. As a result, the groups on one side, a double bond, cannot rotate to the other side. Therefore, the same groups attached on the different sides of the double bonds form different molecules. The molecules have the same molecular formula attached at the same parent location, but having a different spatial configuration. Spatial configuration means a three-dimensional arrangement. These molecules are called sterile isomers. Take 2 butene as an example. Carbon 单键可以旋转，但双键不能旋转。其结果是呢，双键一侧的集团不能旋转到另一侧，因此连接在双键不同侧的相同集团形成不同的分子。这些分子具有相同的分子式，附着在相同的母体位置，但具有不同的空间配置。这些分子是立体异构体，以丁乙烯以2丁烯为例。Here we go. These 2 butene, the double bond between C2 and C3. This one, you can see this one, the 2 methyl groups on the same side of the double bond, and this one, the methyl groups on the opposite side of the double bond. When the 2 methyl groups are on the same side of the double bond, the compound is called cis isomer. When the methyl groups on the opposite sides, on the opposite side of the double bond, the compound is called trans isomer. With the IUPAC naming system, the cis and the trans in italic font are used before the molecule name to indicate the sterile isomers. 当两个甲基集团在双键的同一侧时，该化合物称为顺势异构体。当两个甲基集团位于双键的相对应侧时，该化合物称为反式异构体。在 IUPAC 命名的方案中， 在分子名称前面呢，是用斜体的顺式和反式，来表达立体异构体。The third type is called enantiomers, 对应体。Tetrahydrocarbons bonded to 4 different groups are called chiral centers. Organic compound bearing chiral centers are called chiral molecules. Chiral molecules and the mirror image molecules are enantiomers. Enantiomers are non-superimposable, like right hand and left hand. 与4个不同集团键合的四面体碳成为手性中心，带有手性中心的有机化合物称为手性分子。手性分子及其镜像分子是对应异构体，对应异构体是不可叠加的，就像这个右手和左手一样。This is the enantiomers. There's 2 molecules here. You can see this carbon has bonded to 4 different groups. This acyl group is the methyl group, this hydrogen, this hydroxyl group. And this is one sterile isomer, and this is a mirror image. These 2 are called enantiomers. This carbon is a chiral center. Chiral center in cyclic compound. 环状化合物的手性中心。这个chiral center also can occur in cyclic compound. This example. In this molecule, you can see 3 here is a chiral center because it bonds 4 different groups. It's hydrogen and methyl on this side. They're different from this side, although there's the ring here. Because C2 and C4, this C2 and C4 bond to the C3 are different. Next, let's take a look at the Fischer projection. Fischer 投影。In drawing a tetrahydrocarbon, the 2 horizontal bonds come forward using the solid wedges, and the 2 vertical bonds go behind using dashed wedges. This structure is abbreviated by cross formula. The cross formula is called Fischer projection. 在绘制四面体碳的时候，2个水平键在前面，2个垂直键在后面。这样这个结构呢，可以由这个交叉公式缩写，简单的表示。这种交叉公式称为Fischer projection. Look at this sterile structure. This solid wedge indicates the groups above the paper. The dashed ones indicate the group behind the paper. Then you can this structure can be presented by the Fischer projection. The horizontal groups means the above the paper. The vertical groups below the paper. This is just using this cross. This is called Fischer projection. Optical activity and specific rotations. 旋光性和比旋光度。旋光性和比旋光度。First, how to measure this the optical activity and the specific rotation. First, ordinary lights. Ordinary lights is a light wave oscillating in all planes. It's ordinary lights. 普通光是一种在所有平面上震荡的光。A polarizer is able to absorb all the planes but one, generating a plane polarized light using polarizer。偏振器能够吸收除一个平面以外所有的平面，以产生平面偏振光。The plane of polarized light rotates when it passes through a substance containing chiral molecules。偏振光通过含有手性分子的物质使其平面旋转。If the rotation is clockwise, the compound is called dextro rotatory and labeled as a plus ionomer. If the rotation is counterclockwise, it's called level rotatory and labeled as a minus ionomer. The two ionomers rotate plane polarize the light to the same extent but in the opposite directions。如果顺时针旋转，该化合物称为右旋，并标记为 plus， 对应异构体。如果是旋转是逆时针方向的，则称为左旋，并标准为 minus， 并保持减号对应体，这是加号。这两种对应体异构对应体的平面偏振光旋转在相同的程度，但是方向相反。Take a look this cartoon here, and this is the light beam with all the planes. Let's say like this. Once this light passes through a polarizer, all the planes absorbed except one, this vertical one here. Then this polarized light passes through the substance with containing chiral molecules. Then the light, the plane rotate either clockwise or counterclockwise. But the degree, the extent rotated is the same, but for the isomers, but direction different. Next, let's take a look at specific rotations. Rotations degree per concentration of the chiral compound. That's the definition. And per unit sample length at a given temperature and a given wavelength. Okay, the first thing involved here is the concentration of substance, and the length of the substance, and the temperature and the wavelength of the light. The rotation degree depend on those things. Depend on the concentration, the length, and the temperature, and the wavelength. The unit degree. The unit is the degree multiplied by a milliliter per gram and per decimeter. Okay, this is a degree. Then this is the volume. This is the mass. This is the length. It's an intrinsic property of a chiral compound. 比旋度是在给定温度和给定波长下手性化合物每浓度和每单位样品长度的旋转度，单位为度milliliter per gram and per centimeter, decimeter and decimeter. You can see this is minus 1. Okay, that means per. 它是手性化合物的固有特性。 compounds with 2 or more chiral centers 具有2个或多个手性中心的化合物。The compound with 1 chiral center have 2 sterile isomers, a pair of enantiomers. 具有1个手性中心的化合物只有2种立体异构体，一对对应异构体。A compound with 2 chiral centers has 4 sterile isomers, 4 pairs enantiomers. The enantiomers which are not in the sterile isomers which are not enantiomers are called diastereomers. Diastereomers 具有2个手性中心的化合物具有4种立体异构体，2对对应异构体。不是对应异构体的立体异构体称为非对应异构体。Take a look at this. And these 2 chiral centers, this one and this one, this one and 2, and 3 and 4 are enantiomers, and 1, 3, 1, 4, 2, 3, and 2, 4 are called diastereomers.